Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos on lesson content.
Got no place to be, got no place to go. Come hang out with me on the Mr. Flanders Show.
Good morning, ladies and gents. Mr. Flanders here, and we are diving into our Week 6 science lesson. If you notice, we are still looking at habitats, and we are still looking at the forest habitat, okay? This week we're going to be looking at our forest habitat science reader. Now, as always, the pages will be out of order, and the expectation is not to cut them out and put them in order, make your own little book, just because they are in a packet that is front to back, so you'd be cutting up the pages and wouldn't be able to complete the book. Similar rule applies for Google Classroom. Not only are you not able to cut in Google Classroom, but your slides are also going to be out of order. But it's okay. All of the information is there, and you can use it to answer the questions. Excuse me. That being said, let's go ahead and look at our first couple of pages. You'll notice that we are going to start with a skunk. I know it's a skunk because it says skunk. Let's go ahead and read a little information about the skunk. A skunk is a small mammal that lives in the forest. Now, if you remember from last week's lesson, I did mention briefly that a mammal is often a warm-blooded creature with fur. Okay, so next time you think mammal, think warm-blooded, think fur. Okay. So a skunk is a small mammal that lives in the forest. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Oh, and just looking at it right here, I can tell that we're going to be talking about the seasons. This habitat has 4 changing seasons. Haha, told you. So this habitat has 4 changing seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Okay, and let's take a look at these pictures real quick. What do you think each one represents? Okay, so we've got a sun here. We've got a snowflake here. We've got a leaf here, and then a flower. Now, if you can read the words, you're already going to have the answer. If you're struggling a little bit, though, take a guess. Think about what they could represent. Yes, the sun here represents the summer. Okay, the snowflake here represents Olaf. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't represent Olaf. It represents winter. This leaf here represents fall. Okay, that's when we're changing from summer to winter. And then we've got the flower here represents spring. That's when we're changing from winter to summer. Okay, so the forest has these 4 seasons: summer, winter, fall, and spring. Let's go ahead and flip to our next page. Okay. It says, the forest is made up of many trees. Well, that's why it's called the forest, right, guys? The forest is home to many trees and animals. And you'll notice that in this picture here, we've got like a deer, we've got a rabbit, and we've got an owl. It's pretty cool. Down here, we've got a little information about deciduous trees. Remember, I said deciduous trees have leaves. So let's see what it says. Deciduous trees are trees with leaves rather than pine needles. See? Told you guys, I'm not a liar. And then number 4. A bear is a big mammal that lives in the forest. There's that word again, guys, mammal. Remember, warm-blooded and fur. And a big bear is very warm-blooded. It has a lot of fur. And this is a picture of a brown bear. Now, if you're doing these slides in the paper packet, please feel free to color the slides after you are done with the work. I have no problem with that. In fact, I would love to see your artwork. I actually miss the way you guys would color and draw and all of that stuff in class. So please, color it up. But on that note, let's go ahead and pop over to our first assignment for the week. Now, just reading the packet, you can consider that an assignment if you want, but otherwise we're actually pretty light on science this week. I did not include an extra worksheet. We just have 2 actual worksheets we need to complete. So here we go. We've got our forest science reader. Okay. And the first part of it is record the sight words that you found in the story. So your sight words are going to be like the, of, and, okay, things like that. So what I want you to do is put 6 of the words that you found in the story, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, deciduous, for like deciduous trees, not a sight word, guys. You don't need to worry about writing that there, okay? But words like big, in, that, a, than, many, of, up, stuff like that, they can go right here. And I apologize if you guys are hearing my stomach rumble right now. It is growling like a big brown bear because I did not eat breakfast this morning. So I apologize if you can hear that. But yes, you're going to put your sight words here, and then you're going to move on to story comprehension question number 1. Okay? Number 1 says, what is the forest made up of? Okay? It's a forest, guys. What is it made up of? It's made up of trees, okay? And if you want to, right here is the perfect spot to try practicing spelling the word deciduous. Because remember, the forest, most forests are deciduous forests, meaning that they have deciduous trees, meaning they have trees that have leaves, not pine needles. But if you're hanging out in a pine forest, that's okay too. But yes, I would say for this answer right here, what is the forest made up of? You just write, the forest is made up of deciduous trees. Okay? And then number 2 is going to ask you, what are deciduous trees? Oh my goodness, guys. I've said it like 7 times since we got to this page. I think you guys are on your own on this one. I think you can remember that a deciduous tree has leaves. Oh my goodness, I said it again. Go ahead and feel free, write that information right here or type it in if you're on the computer. What are deciduous trees? Trees that have leaves. Okay? And then our last one. What is an animal found in the forest? What is an animal found in the forest? Well, we've talked about the skunk. We've talked about the brown bear. We've talked about deer, rabbit, owls, things like that. If you want to Google and find other animals that might live in the forest, that's okay too. But I would like to see at least 3 animals that live in the forest, okay? So you're going to write them there or type them there, and then you'll be done with this worksheet. And then we're going to move on to our last worksheet. And this one's a pretty easy worksheet, okay? We're going to talk about these 2 first, and then we're going to talk about this one for last. But our last forest worksheet is going to start with, what is it like in the forest? Well, do you guys remember what it's like in the forest? Last week when we were reading about it, they said that, it's sometimes wet. It usually has all 4 of the seasons. It can be hot, it can be cold, it can be okay. So yeah, talk about what it's like in the forest. You can talk about how it's woody or woodsy because of the trees. It's entirely up to you. And then, who lives in the forest? Well, you can go back to that last question on our other worksheet and write the answers here. I would like to see at least 1, 2, 3 animals that live in the forest. For this side right here, this is a little bit different in Google Classroom than it is here in front of us, but the same thing applies. On this side of the worksheet, I would like my friends to list all 4 seasons, okay? There are, how many seasons? There are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 seasons. I would like you to list each one. And then if you are doing this in the paper packet, you can put a line here and then draw a picture of your favorite season. Okay? I have no problem with that. In fact, again, I would love to see your artwork, so please feel free to do so. But other than that, other than us talking about what it's like in the forest, other than talking about the animals that live in the forest, and other than the seasons, that is it for science this week. I kept it kind of light for science, guys. So please feel free to do this at your own pace. Okay, there's no rush on it. And remember, if at any point you need to pause the videos, that is okay too. Otherwise, we are done with our science lesson for week 6. I'm very, very happy with the work you guys have been doing so far. Please keep it up. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out to me on Class Dojo or Flipgrid. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next lesson, which will be social studies. Hello everybody and welcome back. We are jumping into our social studies lesson for week 6 of our curriculum for distance learning. And today we're picking back up with economics. And if you remember from last week's lesson, we were talking about wants and needs. A want is something that makes us happy, whereas a need is something that basically keeps us alive. A need is like air, water, food, a place to live, and a want can be like a big screen TV or a PlayStation 4, okay? So we're going to keep with that idea for this lesson. We're going to look at 3 worksheets. Our first worksheet, our first worksheet is going to be a family dinner. So what we're going to do is we're going to just read this little story here, and then we're going to answer the 2 questions at the bottom of the page, okay? Let's go ahead and jump into it. A family dinner. This boy eats dinner with his family. He needs his food. He needs a drink. He is happy. And if you look, this boy, he's eating his food, but he's daydreaming of what, guys? Of ice cream. Yeah. Alright, let's jump into our questions. Question 1. What does this boy need? Does he need ice cream, a bicycle, or healthy food? What does he need? Okay, remember what I said. A need is something that basically keeps him alive. Okay? So does he need ice cream? Does he need a bicycle? Or does he need healthy food? And then number 2. What does this boy want? Now remember, a want is something that makes a person happy. Okay? So what does this boy want? He wants ice cream. Does he want an apple? Or does he want a glass of water? Let's take a look in this big bubble right here. This is telling us what he wants, okay? So what does he want? Ice cream, apple, or glass of water? Alright, your job is going to be to figure that out. Go ahead and take a couple of minutes. Get that sorted out. Make sure you are circling the correct answer. If you're doing this in Google Classroom, you're just moving the little red circle over your choice. And if you need to, go ahead and pause the video. But I'm going to move on. Okay. So our second worksheet for our economics lesson this week is things that make us happy. Okay? Some things we need make us happy, like food. And some things we want make us happy. And you'll notice, down here at the bottom of the page, there are 2 boxes. Something I need that makes me happy is on this side. Something I want that makes me happy is on this side. So what I would like you guys to do, if you're doing this in your paper packet, draw a picture in each side. Draw something that you need here that makes you happy, and then draw something that you want that makes you happy. And then you have to label it down here at the bottom. Just tell me what it is. You don't have to write a sentence. You can just write 1 word or 2 words. If it's ice cream, right here for your want, go ahead and just write ice cream. If you're doing this in Google Classroom, it's going to be really hard for you to draw a picture. So try to have a parent help you search Google for a picture of a want and a need that you can just put right here in this box, okay? And then afterwards, you're going to type your answer into the blue boxes down at the bottom, okay? All right, so yeah, just to recap, on this side, you're going to draw a picture or put a picture of something that you need that makes you happy. And on this side, you're going to put a picture or draw a picture of something that you want that makes you happy. All right? Go ahead and take a couple seconds, finish that up. Remember, there's no rush. If you need to pause the video at any time, please feel free. Okay. Here is our last worksheet for our social studies lesson this week in economics. I'm going to read you this little story right here, and then we're going to talk about this bottom half in just a second, okay? And I apologize if I sound a little congested and stuff like that, guys. My allergies are really kicking up this morning. All right, here we go. Amy was walking home from school. It began to rain. Oh dear. She began to run. Then she heard thunder. There was lightning. She ran in the house. She hugged her mom. Her mom told Amy they were safe. Amy was all wet. Oh dear. So down here at the bottom, you'll notice there's a needs box and a wants box. We have to figure out, what does Amy need here, and what does Amy want here, okay? So I believe in Google Classroom I posted where you could do 3 in each category. 1, 2, 3. And I would like my friends at home to do the same thing, okay? 1, 2, 3. So based on that story, based on the story of Amy getting caught in the rain and running home and getting a hug from her mom, what does she need in this story, and what does she want in this story? What do you guys think? A lot of this is up to your interpretation. That means it's your idea. You get to decide, what does Amy want? Now, if you read this story, the story about Amy getting all wet in the rain, and you say, well, Amy obviously needs to go to the mall and buy an Xbox One. Well, that's not really a great answer. I mean, it's a good answer for me, but not a great answer for Amy. So really think about what Amy would want in this story. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you with number 1 for each of these, just so you kind of get an idea of where we need to go. So number 1, what does Amy need? Well, it was raining, and she got caught in the rain, and Amy was all wet, but as soon as she got home, she was safe. So what I'm going to put for her need is home, because it's somewhere she feels safe and happy, okay? So her need is home. But what does Amy's want? Well, I could imagine, since she's all wet, she might want a towel. A towel, okay? And then it's up to you to decide the next ones for each category. What does Amy need, and what does Amy want? All right? With all that out of the way, guys, I think we are done with our economics lesson this week. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out on ClassDojo or Flipgrid. I would love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, you'll see me in one of our other lessons after this, and I look forward to it. Until then, stay safe, guys. Miss you.